All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Devin Young. For those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who do know me, you know that we're about to get into some shit. So I'm gonna make sure my tripod is nice and oriented. And I have a video uploading to YouTube right now, but I'm not even gonna wait for that to upload. I'm just going right into filming, which is probably gonna screw up the upload because that's how phones work. But who cares? Got Beyond Good and Evil, and I don't know if this is going to be a video series. I'm going to have fun with it. I've been making a lot of daily videos, so I'm just going to keep rolling with that. And then maybe at some point I'm going to make trailers or more edited videos. I'm trying to get myself to engage in the process as much as possible in terms of just my ability to continuously engage, which is improving as my brain health improves as I recover from insomnia. And so I got the Lion Diet videos coming out every day. I got my Odysseus Bow series videos coming out every day. I'm going to see how the algorithm treats those, and then that will determine what else I do. I'm going to commit to at least a year of just having those coming out every day before I make any determinations about the algorithm, and then just kind of keep building this in a progressive way. I looked at Kickstarter. I think Kickstarter is really useful. There's like so many things you can do. And there's so many things I can read. Like I could just sit down and read Beyond Good and Evil, or I could make a video, or I could walk somewhere, or I could go talk to someone, or I could go sell supplements to a supplement store, or I could like write a book, or like I could meditate. Like there's so many things I could do, and I could talk about all these things that it's just kind of like, what do you do? I don't know, but I think it's time to get to Beyond Good and Evil. So I'm going to do an aphorism today, talk about things that come up. It's interesting book, but if you stick with the entire series, and I stick with the entire series and finish this, then at the end of it, you will have read or heard all of Beyond Good and Evil and my commentary on it, which would, let's see how many aphorisms he has. It would take me a little while to do, at least. 296 aphorisms. And the way I've been meditating so far, before I get into this, the way I've been meditating so far is just, I call it 7 to the 4th. It's just I just practice box breathing, 7 seconds each side of the box, and that is really helpful. I'm trying to do that as much as I can every day and build up to like an hour of like cumulative box breathing because wonderful effects. I feel like it expands my lungs, trains me how to breathe. It's just very, very beneficial form of meditation, which I like to treat meditating as breathing practice. But without further ado, part one, and this is the Walter Kaufman translation. I like the Ian Johnston translation, which is available for free online, but this is the one I'm reading right now. So, the will to truth, which will still tempt us to many a venture, that famous truthfulness of which all philosophers so far have spoken with respect. What questions has this will to truth not laid before us? What strange, wicked, questionable questions? That is a long story even now, and yet it seems as if it had scarcely begun. Is it any wonder that we should finally become suspicious, lose patience, and turn away impatiently? That we should finally learn from the Sphinx to ask questions too? Who is it, really, that puts questions to us here? What in us really wants truth? Indeed, we came to a long halt at the question about the cause of this will. until we finally came to a complete stop before a still more basic question. We asked about the value of this will. Suppose we want truth. Why not rather untruth and uncertainty, even ignorance? The problem of the value of truth came before us, or was it we who came before the problem? Who of us is Oedipus here? Who the Sphinx? It is a rendezvous, it seems, of questions and question marks, and though it scarcely seems credible, it finally almost seems to us as if the problem had never even been put so far, as if we were the first to see it, fix it with our eyes, and risk it. For it does involve a risk, and perhaps there is none that is greater. So this is Nietzsche speaking of the will to truth. He's really setting the stage here. He's saying the will to truth, which will still tempt us to many a venture, that famous truthfulness of which all philosophers so far have spoken with respect. What questions this will to truth has not laid before us? What strange, wicked, questionable questions? And I mean, here is where we have, like, this is where McKinsey's sexual experiments on children lie. Or McKinsey, the guy, like the McKinsey scale and everything, the sex researcher, he would, like, bring children to orgasm and stuff. Like, here is, why do we want the truth? Truth about what? What are we willing to do in pursuit of the truth? Unit 731. Were they not philosophers? Was the Nazi doctor not a philosopher? I'm not trying to bridge Nazism and Nietzsche here, because I think that that's a really dumb thing to do, and you're going to see just what Nietzsche thought about anti-Semitism later on in the book. He was viciously against anti-Semitism. But really, like, why not value untruth and uncertainty? Why do we want to know what it's like for a human being to have their limbs freeze and thaw until only the bone remains? Who is it that's asking the question? Are we asking about the truth, or is the truth come asking about us? Is the truth a sphinx that wants to devour us when we come before it? I mean, this is why I'm tackling Nietzsche one aphorism at a time. Is it any wonder we should finally become suspicious, lose patience, and turn away impatiently? Are we even still seeking the truth as philosophers? Where is this will to truth leading us? I don't think he's even gotten to will to truth. But this is where we turn and ask questions like, why do we want the truth? Supposedly want the truth. Why? Interesting. It's a rendezvous, it seems, of questions and question marks. That it is. Where will this pursuit of truth lead us? Truth about what? You go to a pimp and you ask him about the truth of woman, he'll tell you one thing. You go to a married man asking the truth of woman, he'll tell you something different. But maybe not too dissimilar. Does that truth make us uncomfortable? Although it scarcely seems credible, it finally almost seems to us as if the problem had never even been put so far, as if we were the first to see it, fix it with our eyes, and risk it, for it does involve a risk. Perhaps there is none greater. There is a great risk in asking what in us really wants truth. Who is it really that puts questions to us here? Who of us is Oedipus? Who is the Sphinx? There is no greater risk. I mean, this is where you get McKinsey's sexual experiments. This is where you get MK Ultra. This is where you get all the horrible things that man does in pursuit of truth. Why? I thought will to truth was this noble motivation. It seems all philosophers do. I mean, all philosophers speak of truth with respect. You would never have a philosopher espousing the philosophy of untruth. They all propose to be pursuing the truth, but as Nietzsche puts it here, why not pursue untruth and uncertainty and even ignorance? That he asked these questions before Unit 731, before McKinsey's sexual experiments, before the Nazi doctor experiments, before the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. Nietzsche was asking these questions. Why do we want to know the truth? Will not the truth, the pursuit of the truth, asking ourselves the question of what in us wants truth, not lead us to risk perhaps even our own humanity? I mean, what are we risking here? Perhaps we are risking our own humanity. Indeed, we came to a long halt at the question about the cause of this will, until we finally came to a complete stop for a still more basic question. We asked about the value of this will. He's referring to the will to truth. Suppose we want truth. Why not rather untruth and uncertainty, even ignorance? The will to truth, which will still tempt us to many a venture, that famous truthfulness of which all philosophers so far have spoken with respect, what questions has this will to truth not laid before us? That's what he's asking. What will we not do in pursuit of truth? What strange, wicked, questionable questions? That is a long story even now, like the Arab king who had a bunch of infants placed in an orphanage and no one was allowed to touch them and they all died. Another Arab king, maybe the same one, who had a wolf visible to one sheep and invisible to another sheep, and the sheep that could see the wolf died from anxiety, whereas the other sheep in the same conditions, besides being able to see the wolf, though the wolf could not get to either of them, did not die. Interesting. That is a long story even now, and yet it seems as if it had scarcely begun. Is it any wonder we should finally become suspicious, lose patience, and turn away impatiently? That we should finally learn from the Sphinx to ask questions too? The Sphinx being, what is truth? Pilate's question. Pontius Pilate. What is truth? So now we learn to ask questions for ourselves. What is the value of this will to truth? We ask the Sphinx. But who of us is Oedipus here? Who is the Sphinx? Are we not the Sphinx for asking this question? Who do we ask this question of? Who is the Oedipus? Everything comes back to Greek mythology in the end. I really believe that. If you want to, you can't make sense of the world without metaphors involving Greek mythology. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.